So I have to be completely honest with you all. A lot of you are probably taking videos wrong on your iPhone and you may not even know about it. Now within our iPhone, we have a lot of different camera capability. We have obviously the dual camera setup, the ultra wide lens, and all these other things. But there are some settings I would probably always recommend you to avoid using as often as possible because it's just going to give you a weird experience and you should probably avoid them at all costs. Now, if we make our way over to our video option right here, our camera option, you can see we have our standard camera mode. One thing you will immediately see is, the viewfinder right here, as well as the times up top. Now, one of the most common things I just see so many people do, and probably the biggest mistake, is actually utilizing 4K resolution or maybe even 1080p at 60 when you really don't need to be using that. So at the very top right corner, we can go ahead and take a look, and you can see we have a little idea of basically what I'm talking about. So we can see we have HD right there. Now that is great. We can see 30 frames per second. That is great. Those are the resolutions I pretty much film. Even these videos you're watching now, they're all filmed at full HD, which is 1080p. Now, if you go and start clicking these, you can see we have now changed to 4K resolution. Now, if you don't know what 4K is, it's just a super high resolution that you can film in. It's going to be better quality. However, the problem here is that 4K videos, especially if you click on the 30, 4K at 60 videos, take up a lot of storage. So you may not even realize this when you're using your device. But if we go ahead and go back to HD, we'll go ahead and go back to 30. If we hop out of here and if we make our way over to our iPhone settings, we go and hop into here. We scroll down, we go into our camera option, which is all the way at the bottom right over here. What's going to happen and what we're going to be able to see is we have a lot of different things we can film in. But we can click on record video, which is right there. And these are the settings I would probably recommend you to go ahead and do. I would recommend keeping 1080p at 30 as your main go-to resolution. If you go above this, you can see right here within Apple's little description right here, they kind of give you a breakdown of exactly how much storage space you're going to save if you go and click, so 55 megabytes or 65 megabytes for 1080p at 30, that's great. If you go to 4K at 60, it's 440 megabytes. I know so many people who already do 1080p at 60, which is 100 megabytes, and you can save a ton of storage if you just choose 1080p at 30. That is pretty much the go-to resolution. But on top of that, if you're doing 720p, I probably wouldn't recommend that. As you can see, 720p is right here. I would recommend going at the very least 1080p at 30. Anything above that for now, unless you're like a YouTuber, you know what you're doing, I probably wouldn't recommend doing that. Now at the bottom, we have a few different things. Honestly, the HDR video is also you can enable it if you want to. It's not really a necessity. If we go and hop out of here, you'll see a couple other things. If we go and click on formats, again, these are for photos, but I would honestly probably recommend keeping it as it was at a high efficiency. Hopping back out here, I would also recommend keeping this record stereo sound. I think this is great. I like the record stereo sound option. I think it's really awesome. And this is another thing I'd recommend doing. The rest of these options, for the most part, are kind of here and there. You can go and mess around with it however you want to. But the recording video option is the thing I would recommend you to go ahead. And if you understand it, just keeping it as it is at 1080p at 30, it can save you so much storage. And it probably honestly makes the most amount of sense to me in my opinion. So in terms of that kind of covers it up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.